guys, today's video is going to be on putting technique. So we want to approach putting technique the same way as we do full swing technique. We want things to make sense, we only want to do things that we have to do, and we want to have the stroke as simple as possible. So when I'm putting, what I want to do is have a stroke where really only the arms and shoulders are moving the putter. Okay, I don't want too much lower body motion, and I definitely don't want too much with the wrists here. Okay, so minimal lower body motion and minimal wrist action is okay, but we want to limit that as much as possible. So everything we're going to do is to give ourselves the best chance of achieving that stroke. Now we also want to hit the ball slightly on the upswing. So when the putter's swinging through, it's going to hit the ball slightly on the up this way, and that's going to get the ball rolling as soon as possible. What we don't want is the putter to be swinging down too much this way in descending fashion here. That's going to make the ball jump before it's going to roll. So what we want is a simple swing with the arms and shoulders with minimal lower body and wrist action, and a swing that hits the ball slightly on the up to get the ball rolling as soon as possible. So the first thing we're going to look at is the grip, how we hold the club. And what we want to do is really get the shaft of the club to be on the same angle as the left forearm. So when I'm holding the club, I can't grip the club like a normal shot with the club too low in the fingers here. That's going to give me a different angle a bit of an angle between the forearm and the shaft of the putter. I'm going to need the putter to be up higher in the hand. So I want this left corner of the grip to fit into the middle of the hand. It's up much higher, and that way I'm able to get this all in one line. That's a big key, get the forearm and the shaft of the club in one line. And then I'm just going to bend forward from the hips and bring it down this way. Okay, so once I've got my left hand grip, I've just got my thumb on the flat surface there. I'm just going to tilt forward from the hips, a little bit of bend in the knees, and I've got that arm and shaft on one line. Now with the right hand, it's going to come in from the side. I'm going to tuck the right arm into the body. So what I would suggest for most of you is to try the reverse overlap grip. So we want the index finger of the left hand to be off the club, and the right hand's going to tuck under this way, and this index finger of the left hand is going to fit outside the fingers of the right hand, and I'm going to have both thumbs on the flat surface. So that's my grip and set up with the arms. See, both arms are slightly bent, the right arm is tucked in close to the body. So I actually feel that both the upper arms are on my chest at this point. Now you can also see that I've got the ball position a bit forward, so the ball is going to be forward in the stance. That's going to allow me to hit up on the ball a little bit. I don't want the ball too much in the middle, I want it slightly forward of centre. And when I put this right hand on, I really tuck that right arm in. So you can see that my shoulders have a tilt to them this way. So the left shoulder is higher than the right. And again, that's going to promote that slight upward hit this way. So I've got my grip here, one line. I'm tilting forward from the hips, a little bit in the knees, bringing that right hand in under this way, getting it tucked into the body, both thumbs on the flat surface, index finger overlapping the right fingers of the right hand there. So the grip pressure is firm enough that I'm not going to have too much wrist action. It's not too relaxed that I'm getting too much of this action here. So that's really going to be my setup. Ball left, tilting the shoulders, left forearm and shaft in line. So from behind angle it's going to look this way. Once I've got my angle this way, I'm tilting forward from the hips. I've got my forearm and shaft in one line. I'm bringing the right arm in from behind, tucking it in this way. So I've got my shoulders fairly square to where I want to putt. The feet should be fairly square or can be slightly open, but we want to avoid getting the too shut in this position. We don't want to be coming around it, pull this way with the body. We want to have feet square, slightly open, shoulders square to the line. Now the distance from the ball, I can measure it this way. I really want to make sure my eyes are more or less over the ball or slightly inside the ball here. I like to have my eyes slightly inside the ball. I feel that makes my shoulders work a little bit better in the stroke. So for me, the putting stroke is all about getting the right arm tucked in, getting some shoulder tilt here, and then holding the club firmly enough and being stable enough in the lower body that I'm just moving the putter with the arms and shoulders. Back and through this way. So on a short putt, my swing is going to be small and relatively slow. On a longer putt, I'm going to increase the size of the swing and also increase the speed. But I'm only increasing the speed with my arms and not with the hands. I'm not hitting this way with the hands. I'm really just getting the arms and shoulders to increase the stroke. Now, there's a lot of talk about making a pendulum stroke with the putter, and that is more or less what I am trying to do. I'm trying to move the putter almost the same distance back and through. Now, although I try and make a pendulum stroke, I've got to remember I am going to hit the ball. So as I hit the ball, it will take some energy from the putter. So in a pure putting stroke, the follow through will be slightly shorter than the backstroke. Okay, it's only because the ball is in the way. I don't want to try and over accelerate the putter so that I can make that same length that I did on the backswing. I just want to let the putter go and just let the putter hit the ball. The ball's going to take some of the energy. I'm still going to be really stable in my finish here, and it's usually going to be a little bit shorter than the backstroke. Now from the back angle, the putter is not going to move in a perfectly straight line. There is going to be a small arc in the putter due to the fact that the putter is on this angle. It sits at about a 70-degree angle with the ground. So it's not at a right angle this way. It's not at 90 degrees. That way the putter would swing straight. It's going to swing in a very small arc. Okay. So when I'm putting, what I do is I get myself in this position, and really my shoulders, they're going to work in this way. They're going to work this way a little bit. So there's a very small turn of the shoulders. I'm not exaggerating this, but they're working this way. Okay, so a lot of the mistakes we see in putting is with how the shoulders work. So some people will over-rotate the shoulders this way, and they'll have real directional problems. Some other golfers will just try and do everything with the shoulders with no arm swing, and they tend to tilt this way. Okay, the putter will move fairly straight, and it may well be that they're trying to move the putter straight. You can see the head will move all over the place, and they'll have contact problems with the putter. So we don't want too much rotation. We don't want just up and down moving the putter straight. We actually want a small combination of both. So you can see from the front angle, my left shoulder will work down slightly. But I'm not exaggerating this with a straight putting stroke and just tilting the shoulders. Same from the back here. You can see that the shoulders will have just a very small outward motion. The left shoulder moves slightly out, and then the left shoulder moves back. So there's a small turn, and that gives me just that small arc that I need. Okay, I don't want an exaggerated arc, and I don't want just a straight line. It's just a small arc with the putter. So as long as I get the setup right, with the upper arms on the body, some tilt in the shoulders, the ball slightly left of centre, and then if I just get my shoulders working in the right fashion, my putter will just move on the right path. I don't have to try and control it too much. So once more, that's my setup. All I'm going to do is make a shoulder stroke with a little bit of arm swing. The shoulders will work slightly out and back, and also slightly up and down. So for me, the most common mistake I see with putting comes through the setup, and that's when the shoulders start too level, the right arm is too extended, there's no angle in the right arm, there's no way to put pressure on the ball. So you can almost see I've actually got a reverse setup there. My left arm's bent, my right arm is too straight. The ball will generally be in the middle with this golfer, shoulders will be level, and they'll try and move the club on a straight line this way. And they never really make good contact with the ball. So like I said at the beginning of the video, we want to make good contact. We want to hit the ball correctly with the putter. So we want that ball to be forward. So you can see when I have the ball a little bit forward and I make this grip with my left arm in line, you can actually see that the putter, the grip end of the putter, points a little bit to the left of the centre of the body. So it's a little bit like hitting an iron shot. I don't want my putter back this way with the right arm straight, left arm bent, and then try to move the putter in a straight line this way. So I get too much of a tilting motion with the shoulders. I can't put pressure on the ball. These golfers really struggle too with long putts. They just struggle to hit the ball hard enough to get it to the hole because they lack pressure on the ball. But if we can get that right arm tucked in here, this grip hand a little bit forward, get the shoulder tilt, ball forward in the stance so that we get the ball rolling as soon as possible, and then we learn to make an arms and shoulder stroke this way, then you'll find on the longer putts, you're just adding a little bit more swing, a little bit more speed, and the ball will roll out to the hole. So another common mistake I see is with the posture, when the golfer just stands too straight and just bends forward from the shoulders here. Both arms will tend to be fairly straight this way. Okay, so we're not really in the right position to start there. And often this golfer will tend to just move the putter just with the wrist this way. Okay, what we want to do is make sure we still are creating a good posture this way, so we bend forward a little from the hips, a little bit in the knees. So by bending forward from the hips, I create a little bit of room here for the arms to make a little swing. Okay, so if I do just stand very upright, bend forward from the shoulders, I don't have any room here to swing my arms, so I'll tend to just move the putter then with the wrists. Now what I showed you today was really just my preferences or how I putt, and obviously there are many different ways to putt. But I think even when you see some unusual grips like having the left hand low on the putter, you'll still tend to see these sort of bends in the right arm, so the right arm bend and the right wrist bent that way. And they might not have as much shoulder tilt, but they're still able to put a fair amount of pressure on the ball, and they've still got a stroke where the wrists don't break down and not too much lower body motion. So I tried to show you really some basic fundamentals today that you see in most good putting strokes. So there are many putting aids out there, but three that I'd recommend is firstly a putting mat. So this putting mat has the lines on it, so it shows you where the club face should be throughout the swing as well as the arc of the club head. Secondly is a putting mirror. So on a putting mirror you can basically see where your shoulder line is, so whether your shoulders are open or closed. You can see where your eye line is in relation to the ball, and also have a look at your club face. And the third one I recommend is to have some sort of putting gate. So the idea with this is a little mirror. I put the ball on the mirror and I putt through these two pillars here. So this is my gate, so I want to learn to get the ball started on the right line. So really good for learning to hit the ball out of the middle of the putter, and good for your club face control.